Why do people hate solo leveling? Is it because it's the current popular kid in town? Is it because it's predictable and lacks depth? Or is it because Jinwoo recently cried and showed emotion? Well, it could be all of these things and more. You see, I went and scoured the internet after my last recent glazing video of solo leveling. And I found alongside the lovers for this anime, there are a lot of people who have criticism for this show. So what did I do? Well, I compiled all of these thoughts, some valid, some ridiculous. And today you and I will discuss and find out exactly why it is that people hate solo leveling. Many of you, myself included, have noticed the rise of solo leveling lately. Maybe you saw the hype and you proceeded to watch the anime. But after you finished, you had a genuine thought. You thought to yourself, I just don't get it. Is this it? This is nothing special. Why is everyone so hype about this? So you take to online to express that opinion, only to be met with an army of action shonen lovers telling you are wrong and you wouldn't know a good anime if it slapped you right in the ding dong. And so for the next 12 weeks or so, you will either have to 1. Keep your mouth shut, or 2. Beef with random internet people every single day. And some of you have definitely chosen the beef option. But rather than doing that, which is horrible for all parties included, let's bring up and discuss some of the most common complaints that people have with solo leveling. Chapter 1. Story simplicity and side characters. For lots of people, a fantasy story with game-like abilities and an overpowered main character is like a dream come true. But for others, this story model is a torturous, repetitive trope that they'd rather not entertain or digest. Now, although the solo leveling world was new and exciting for some, for others, it just really lacked depth and explanation. When I was researching for this video, I saw a lot of people arguing. They would say things like, this story is too straightforward. You know, the MC is weak, MC gets strong, MC is now overpowered. Oh look, he's destroying everything. They felt the lack of tension and the lack of challenge really to be underwhelming. And for some people, this made them less engaged in the story. And to be honest, this is valid criticism. I personally like my eggs sunny side up and not gooey. And you might think that I'm a monster for that, but that's just how preferences and opinions work. You don't have to like what I like, and I don't have to have your eggs. You get what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's get back on track. Inside of the world of solo leveling, we spend a lot of time around Jinwoo. Well, obviously he's the main character. But if you're accustomed to watching a lot of different anime, solo leveling might be a little jarring for you. You see, in most anime, you will tend to notice more of an attempt to showcase characters, especially when introducing them in the series. What do I mean by this? When a character is introduced, you generally need to know about them. You need information. You want their backstory. You want their likes, dislikes, anything that will help you decide whether or not you like them as a character. This is a magic piece called character development. And this is similar to how you need to get to know someone in real life. You need to understand who they are, and then you can make judgment if they're an asswipe or not. Unfortunately, in solo leveling, the anime really takes after its name. We mainly follow Jinwoo, and we don't really have time to get to know any of the other characters. And for some people, this is a deal breaker. Some people need a lot of intriguing characters for their story to be complete and enjoyable. But for others, this is one of the main reasons why they love the anime. Again, how do you like your eggs? Speaking of eggs, now I know how I like my eggs, but man, this kitchen is just moving at such a fast pace. And to be honest, we just don't have time to perfect all these different eggs for all these different individuals. But maybe, just maybe, if we slowed things down, things could be different. Pacing. It's no hidden secret that solo leveling moves faster than most anime. And some people absolutely love this. And for others, they absolutely hate this. You can see the common theme in this video. Now, lots of people feel the anime moves too fast and that it skips or condenses important scenes from the webtoon. And the only thing I'll say on this is you have to keep in mind, when going from webtoon, manga, manhwa, whatever it is, to anime, you'll find that getting everyone's favorite scene or panel into that anime is almost impossible. But But in saying that, you can't disagree that Solo Leveling moves at a rapid pace. And because of that, it doesn't really allow for any character development outside of Sung Jin Woo. Therefore, for many people, certain fights, certain characters just feel a little bit rushed. And for them, this really takes away from the overall build-up in the series. Now, just earlier, I mentioned manhwa's adaptation to anime, and that brings forth our next issue: censorship and softened violence. I personally didn't notice this one too much, but some people online have mentioned that Solo Leveling toned down a lot of its brutality. People felt that some of the more graphic fights and violent moments from the webtoon just got absolutely nerfed. Blood is one of the big things that people are saying has been reduced in some scenes, and for them it just makes the battle feel less impactful. My response to that would be, you're just lucky they didn't take the Chinese approach to Blood, otherwise this would be a whole different anime. The hype versus reality problem. Have you ever been late to watching a certain movie or anime that everyone's yapping about, and you just keep saying to yourself, nah, I'll get around to it, I'll watch it eventually. But all you keep hearing for weeks, maybe even months, is how good that show is, how great that movie is. So you say, okay, enough. Finally, I will watch that show. You bite the bullet, you go and watch it. But then something weird happens. For you, that piece of media that everyone loved, the one that everyone hyped up, for you, it was boring. For you, it was plain. For you, it was just horrible. Now, does this make you an elitist? Yes. No, I'm just joking. No, it doesn't. It's just that as humans, when something is overhyped, we naturally get a little bit excited. I mean, you've got people you trust telling you that this one thing is amazing. This one thing is better than being alive. This one thing feels like you've busted 10,000 nuts. 10,000 nuts? God damn. And look, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that we all have such different tastes, and these tastes just always can't be met. And that's the main problem that I personally see in Solo Leveling. When something is popular, there's always going to be a large amount of people who dislike it, because the more people who see it, the more people that will gradually dislike it. Same with my content. There might be a group of you who love me. There might be a group of people who are like, Sam, have my babies. And then there's another group of people that's like, shut the hell up, redhead ginger. And it's okay, because I love you both. But do you feel me? When something is this large, not everyone is going to see eye to eye. All right, tell me you feel me, or I'm going to start telling you stories with eggs again. Don't tempt me. I'll do it. So we can all agree that Solo Leveling had insane hype even before the anime. So of course, expectations are through the roof. Now, this left some fans feeling that the anime is good, but it's not great. But I truly do wonder, if they had have stumbled upon the series prior to the hype, do you think perhaps that they would feel different about the series? You know, they might not think that it's god tier, but they might just enjoy it a little bit more because they haven't been let down. All right, speaking of being let down, you still here? Awesome. Subscribe. All right, just like Solo Leveling's pacing, I'm going to rapid fire the next 3 issues right at you. The Korean to Japanese changes. Since the Solo Leveling webtoon is originally a Korean manhwa, some fans are mad that it was Japanified. What does that mean? Well, the setting was slightly altered and some Korean cultural elements were removed. This change made some Korean fans quite upset, and understandably so. Solo Leveling is a huge source of pride for them. Animation inconsistencies. A1 Pictures is a solid studio, but not every scene in Solo Leveling looks as stunning as the trailers. But this one for me is a little bit of a stretch. I personally think they did an amazing job with the majority of scenes, and I do think that as anime lovers, we are way too spoiled. We are like lumpy milk. That's how spoiled we are. The overuse of CGI. While CGI isn't terrible, some fans stated that it makes it feel less fluid compared to traditional 2D animation, but again, lumpy milk. One more thing I want to add to that is these timelines are so tight, and I just think it's not bad compared to a lot of the other anime that we've seen. Now, this next one I personally agree upon, and that is the game mechanics just don't hit the same. The leveling up system and UI pop-ups were a huge part of Solo Leveling's appeal in the manhwa, but for some, myself included, they just feel that they lack the same impact in the anime. I would have loved if they built upon this. Imagine if they went in depth with how each armor set affected the battle, or they touched on things like massive set effects, or just imagine compounding loot or experience for certain equipable items, or hell, even item enchanting. You have a chance of failing that enchantment. If you do get the enchantment, you've got a super rare overpowered item. The list goes on. All right, one last point. And after that, I'll give you the true reason why a lot of people hate this series. The overpowered MC criticism. Some people felt that Jinwoo's journey lacks the depth of other power fantasy anime. I personally think that more people just want a little bit more of a grind. At first, when Jinwoo gets his powers, he does have to grind a bit to get stronger. You've got the new threat of S-ranks coming to kill him. He's trying to grind away in the dungeons. He's excited at every additional level he gains and little bit of experience that he gets along the way. But soon enough, he just feels overpowered and like nothing could even faze him. Soon enough, he feels unbeatable. Now, finally, the final piece. And the true reason in which I feel like a lot of people hate this series. Are you ready? It is popularity. Some people out there, they just love going against the grain. They hate liking something that a large majority of people enjoy. These individuals are the type of people who are never happy. And yes, they're a small group of people, but personally, I think they are the loudest. And as I said earlier, the bigger an audience gets, the bigger this group of people gets also. And as I said, they're fucking loud about it. Solo leveling sucks. Now for me, personally, when I dislike something, I just move on with my life. You know, I don't leave comments online. I don't rage bait people. I just move on with my life. I'm too busy making these shitty videos. I don't have time to argue with you. But a lot of people in this world, they just love to hurt themselves. They just love to spew hatred. Unfortunately, they're just extremely unhappy. They're like the milk I mentioned earlier, but way more lumpy, maybe even green. Now, liking anime is a very personal thing. What I love, you might hate. And just because a large majority of people like a certain anime, that doesn't mean that you yourself need to like it. But in saying that, I believe as humans we should at least try to understand why it is the other person likes it and why we hate it. And then, rather than leaving comments crying everywhere, just come to a conclusion that not everyone will like what you like, and not everyone will agree with your opinion. And that is okay. All right, my final thoughts, final, with a TH. I personally loved Solo Leveling. Most of these complaints that I've reviewed doesn't mean that Solo Leveling is a bad anime. Every series has opportunities to get better. And as I said, when something is this hyped, there's going to be people who nitpick every minute little part of the story. And that too is okay. When you make something public, you need to accept that people are going to pull it apart. So let me know what you thought of the anime. Did you love it? Did you hate it? And if you're still here, I appreciate you watching all the way to the end. If you're new here, don't forget to slap the shit out of my anus. I mean, the like and subscribe button. And also check out this video right here. Actually, I'm going to put it over here today. Or maybe over here. I haven't decided yet. Whoa, you got to click that video. It's a banger. You got to click it. All right, love you. Bye.